Hey, sports fans, it's Mo Carter. Every high school football team in the Tennessee Valley has a goal of hoisting up a blue map at this year's Super 7 in Birmingham. And in order to get there, you have to do work in the off-season. This summer, the FOX54 sports team chatted with a number of squads about their upcoming season. And you can check out some of your favorite teams right now on another edition of the First Down Friday Night Preview Series.
This will be my second year, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves, starting from the left down there.
Oh, my name is Isaiah Sharpley.
My name is.
We starting from the left?
That's fine, go.
Caden Watkins. Caden Oliver.
And Harris Penley, O-line.
All four of these guys are seniors, and really good players, really good people, and represent the core qualities that we preach every day. So they're up here with me.
Coach Ritter, I know you feel a little bit more comfortable with year two relative to year one, and kind of put names with faces. You kind of know from junior high, the freshman group. You have to get just a little bit more comfortable, much less you're getting ready for a second football season.
Yeah, and I thought our seniors last year did a phenomenal job of trying to do what we asked them to do. Anytime you have three coaches in 3 years, and so they had three coaches in 4 years, you're going to get some pushback. You're not going to get the buy-in that you hope for. But I thought those guys really did try. And to say year one is a wash is really not fair to them, but it kind of was. Now these guys understand why we do the things that we do. They understand where my passion comes from and why I'm so hard to deal with, and why I demand perfection on everything that we do, whether it's classroom, whether it's in the community, or it's in the weight room. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. And these guys have a better understanding of where that enthusiasm at practice and really everything that we do comes from. And so they've bought in a little bit more. And, these four guys have done an excellent job of leading this senior group that has 17, which is still a very small senior class, in the right direction. It's making those younger guys pick up the pace a little bit. And hopefully we see some strides year two, because 2-8 ain't no fun.
Was there a game or maybe a moment where you thought, this is what it's supposed to look like, this is closer to the vision that I want this program to be?
Yes and no. The front five, our front end schedule, the first 5 games is tough. It's 5 of the premier teams in North Alabama. And we really felt like the last 5 games, if we could survive the first with injuries, that we would have an opportunity to be successful. Unfortunately, we didn't. We lost 7 starters for the year in the first 5 games, and on a team that has no depth, that's not good. We showed flashes against Lee. We showed flashes against Columbia. We showed flashes against Jemison, and kind of the same thing against Coleman and Athens. Even at 2-7, we go out against Athens, and the first half was a war. We kind of stayed stride for stride early on, and attrition kind of took over. So no, there was not that aha moment. I really hope that aha moment comes in about the second drive of the first game against Buckhorn.
You play in a bear of a region. Fans of our area understand how tough that region is week in, week out. How do you kind of instill in these young men what it's going to take week after week after week to eventually become a playoff contender, and more importantly, have higher aspirations for you in the program?
Well, I think it goes back to how we do everything. Whether we're in the weight room, whether in a meeting, we demand perfection. We want them to empty their tank every day. And that's what it's going to take, along with a little bit of luck and some health. You have to be healthy to survive the region that we play in. Then when you throw in Buckhorn, Austin, Lee, and Jemison, that ain't 4 cupcakes either. So all 10 games, you got to bring it. You got to stay healthy. And I really think the weight room helps with that. Where we were last year in the weight room is not where we want to be. It's not where we aspire to be by any stretch of the imagination. And that's one thing that I'm probably the most proud of. Since November, we've killed these dudes every day. We take no days off. It's been a grind. And not only have they survived it, they've really kind of thrived in that moment. And, that is going to lead to bigger and better things. We started maxing out today. We had 69 PRs. Where we are right now is so far where we were in January, February of last year. It's not even funny. Now, we still got a ways to go, and I think every day we have to continue to work to have an edge. We have to have a little luck and stay healthy because we're very thin in a lot of places. But I like our group. I think they're the epitome of what we want to do, and that's the way we play, the way we carry ourselves, and, we got to stay healthy.
I've got one for players. Is there someone in your life that kind of encouraged you to get into this game of football? Anybody?
I guess I'll go first. I didn't really start playing football until 7th grade, and believe it or not, I played flag football. I was a quarterback, and I look like a quarterback. But no, my grandfather played at Decatur, and he actually played at Georgia Tech. So I've been to Georgia Tech many times. It's a great campus. No, he was probably my biggest inspire, and obviously my parents and just coaches I've had along the way, always just striving for me to be the best I can, so I can just always just be good. But yeah, probably definitely my grandfather and my dad for sure.
My brother played at Decatur like when I was young, so that just made me want to play football and stuff.
Just seeing it growing up in the South, I just wanted to see what it was, and I love it now. When I was younger, my stepdad, when he first came into my life, he bought me a Alabama helmet and a jersey, and ever since then I've just loved football, and I've been playing it since like kindergarten.
For the players, your coach just mentioned how grueling of an offseason it was. From your perspective, what was this offseason like? Was it that hard?
Them three have been with me the whole time. He got out of it in baseball a little bit, so let them three answer that.
Yeah, I think it was pretty hard because he pushes us, he keeps, but I think I've definitely gotten a lot stronger since he's been here, and it's helped me be more confident in my game and do more on the field. I'd say yes. I think most of it was a mindset thing, just changing the attitude of the players and I guess some of the coaches too, and yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty hard, and the weight room was hot and stuff. So, yeah.
Now, we cut the air off. It was 97 in there June the 6th. And my thing is, when you don't invest in anything, it's easy to walk away. It's easy to quit. I want you to pour so much of yourself into this program that you're not going to quit on Harris Penley. You're not going to quit on Isaiah Sharpley. And if you do that, if we structure our program in a way, not only we take care of our kids, don't get me wrong. We give them everything that they need to be successful. We feed them daily. We give them protein shakes at no cost to them. This is all stuff that we pay for. But in return, I expect them to empty that tank every day and make sure that they have so much invested that they can't quit on their teammate. They can't quit on their coach. If they make it through off season, hey, they're in. And, right now we've got 102 guys. We had 88 last year. So we started with about 116 in November, and we've weeded them down to the 100 that we think are going to be with us for the long haul.
And to add on to that, it's almost like kind of the mindset. Like some players last year was like, oh, I got to go work out, or oh, I got practice twice a day. Now it's kind of changed. We're like, oh, I want to work out. Oh, I want to get better. I want to get stronger, which is just really good from like 9th grader all the way to 12th graders. Everybody having that mindset. That's been a really big change.
This is for coach and players. You just mentioned you try to kill these guys from November. I've had you for a long time in some of your previous stuff. I get it. But I wanted to ask you with that, you understand what it takes to win at this level with relative to the competition that you're playing each and every week. How have you tried to instill that with them, and then for all the players, you all understanding what it takes to win at the level of the teams that you have to play week in and week out? You start, Coach.
I think that goes back to 2012 at Red Bay. I mean, we haven't changed our approach much. We're a very old school philosophy with a kind of a new school mentality. We're going to play the music at practice. We're going to do a lot of the things that they want to do because that's what makes it, quote unquote fun. Fun to me is winning. Fun to me is hitting somebody in the mouth and making them quit. That's what's fun. But at the same time, we don't talk about wins and losses. I don't know if we've ever talked about you got to do this to win. We talk about maximizing their ability, and that's one thing that I think that has changed since 2012, really probably in the last 4 years at Russellville plus last year. We're trying to get them to understand this is what you have to do to be successful. We want you to maximize your individual ability. And if we've got 100 guys doing that, whether they're a starter, whether they're a backup, whether they're a guy that may not ever play until his senior year, we're going to pour ourselves into that kid, whether he's a starter or not, because we want them to maximize their ability, because that's going to make them successful in life. A lot of people talk a lot of, things about, this is life and this. No, it's not. We want you to work hard. Because if you will work hard, that translates into being a successful banker, to being a successful bus driver. It doesn't matter what you do. If you'll work hard and you'll do the right things, you'll be successful. And along with success comes wins and losses.
If you could have a hashtag or a slogan for this year, this team, what would it be?
I think the classic, just go Raiders. I mean, I feel like that's always been the motto. Obviously, go Raiders has always been big. So I think the simplicity of that's good. What do y'all think?
Stay tuned.
Oh, I like that.
Well, we've had on our shirt, here again, I'm not a slogan guy, but, I wanted us to change our mentality. So they worked out every day in a gray T-shirt. Said, nobody cares, work harder. And that's it. If we win the first game, great. Nobody cares. Work harder. If we're 9-0 rolling into the last game, or if we're 0-9, who cares? Keep working hard, and good things are going to happen eventually.
My name's Jeremy Perkins. Been coaching for, this is going on 30 years now. Been the head football coach at Austin High School for 15. This will be year 16. To my left, inside linebacker Mark Green, senior. Immediately to my right, fullback, tailback, running back, Ethan Brooks, senior. To his right, Kadir Lyle, the quarterback, senior. And to his right, DJ Orr, inside linebacker, senior as well.
Coach, you brought Kadir here. There's been a lot of years that you've had an incredible signal caller under center that has been able to do what you've asked and your coaching staff has asked on the football field. What makes Kadir that has the opportunity to continue to follow in that trend of so many unbelievable quarterbacks over the years?
Well, first of all, Kadir is extremely talented. He has great arm. He throws a great ball. It's a very catchable ball. He can make every throw. He's very athletic, so he's a true dual threat quarterback. He can beat you with his arm or his feet. The big thing that Kadir had to do over the last 12 months or so is just learn and understand how to play the quarterback position. Early in his career, he relied mainly on his athleticism and his arm strength. But the quarterback position, especially in our offense, is a cerebral position where there's a lot asked of him. He has to not only, of course, know how to execute the play call, but he has to get everybody lined up. He has to call protections. He has to identify the defense. He has RPOs, pre-snap reads, and there's so many elements. And so the maturation of learning the offense and understanding the offense has been big for him over the last 12 months. He's ready to go. We're excited about his potential for this year. And now the big thing for him taking the next step is having that game experience. That's the one thing he lacks a little bit, is just the game experience with the bullets flying. He's had a really good summer. He had a good junior season. Although he wasn't on the field a ton, his growth throughout his junior season was tremendous. Like I said, he's ready, he's eager, he wants to be great, and that's a great characteristic to have, is the want, the desire to be great. So I'm excited about him. He's the leader of our offense. We're about ready to just turn the reins over to him, and that's been a big element in our quarterbacks as well, is them having the knowledge and understanding of what we're trying to accomplish, to be able to instead of calling plays, I make suggestions. And then he makes decisions on the field, and the more right decisions he makes, the better we are.
Kadir, what have some of the guys around that were, that you looked up to at that position they kind of tried to help you, especially last year, and you just growing up and understanding what that position means at Austin High School?
Just playing with guys older than me, it really helped. And I've been understanding the offense for, I've been moved up for a long time. I understand the offense, and, the guys past, they really they really showed me a lot, and you know, yeah.
Are you excited about the playmakers that you have on offense and then just the team as a whole? I know there's a standard, but also high school football that I know that all you all understand.
Yes, sir. We have a lot of upcoming seniors. You know, we had people coming back from last year. We got a lot of younger guys that, you know, people don't even know about that. It's going to get attention this year, and, you know, I just want them to get attention and be noticed, you know.
Coach, I know that each year is a different team. Each team has its own identity. What about this team have you learned the most about this offseason?
Well, first of all, there's still a lot of learning to do. There's only so far you can go when it comes to practice. You know, our defensive guys get pretty hungry and eager to stop our offense. They know our offense just as well as they know anything because they go against it every day. Our offensive guys get pretty hungry to stop or score on our defense. There's a lot of growing to do to see how we handle adversity, to see how we handle the successes. But with this group, we have a core of seniors that have played a lot of football, so that experience is there. They're a resilient group. They don't seem to get phased and get too high or too low on anything, which is a good characteristic because, you know, the game is a game of emotion. It's a game of momentum. There's ups and downs throughout the game. So I'm excited to see how that transpires throughout the season, where they can stay kind of at an even pace and handle the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of the ball game. They're a talented group. We're not a very deep group, so these guys are going to have to be in shape because they're going to have to play a lot of snaps.
Coach, last year you showed the ability to win some really close games, a couple overtime wins, a couple ones that came down to the last drive. How do you, without giving away too many of your secrets, how do you go about building that DNA to be able to win games like that?
Well, we go through a very rigorous, tough off-season program. You could probably ask these guys, and some of them now they love it, but when they first started it, they hated it. And some of them probably still hate it a little bit. But we build a lot of toughness in our off-season program. Our summers, it's difficult, but it's not just outlandishly difficult. But it's that toughness is built. We train them to be tough, physically, mentally, emotionally, those types of things. We try to put them in situations throughout our workouts and our workout program where they get pushed to the edge a little bit. Those types of things, they translate to the season. You cannot mimic everything that's going to happen in the season, in the preseason, or in the preparation for that season. So they also, it's kind of a passed down effect where they have great examples of guys that came before them. They saw how they reacted and responded to things. Some good, some bad. They get to learn from the bad. They get to mimic or try to equate to the good and grow from that. But again, I didn't know going into the season how we were going to handle the overtime game against Hartselle. We made one more play than they did. And that helps kind of springboard the next weeks.
Question here for the players. Mentioned earlier going into the 16th season, so pretty much as you've known football, Coach Perkins has been the head coach of Austin. So just the consistency of having Coach Perkins there, what does that mean to y'all?
He just shows up every day, and he's there with us, works hard, we work hard, and just mutual understanding.
His consistency on us, he gives the players like an extra push to keep on going, go another step, and that really helps all of us a lot. Yeah.
My dude, man. That's my dude. He pushes me a lot. He come he always reminded us that he comes in the morning, you know, he works out, you know. And it really means a lot. I really pay attention to the little stuff that he does when nobody sees, and he's a really good man.
Going off what they said, consistency. Even before 45 minutes before workouts, he's already there in his office, going over plays that we need to do and that we need to re-over, and he's there every day, showing up, telling us what to do and not what to do, and it plays a big part.
Coach, we had a coach from earlier today kind of talk about kids and young men in this day and age. You cannot fake anything with them. They're going to see right through any crap that you're trying to, give to your coach and to your players. How important has it always been for you, as long as you've been here, as long as you've been a coach, to always be true and real and shoot kids straight? And why these young men always speak so highly of each and every year?
Well, for me personally, I am what you see. This is who I am. I mean, coaching football, I'm passionate about it. I love it. I'm competitive. I want to win. But I also know there's a higher purpose. This is my mission field. So being fake and lying to the kids and those things or doing things the wrong way is unacceptable in my book, because I want to be a model to them of how to work hard, how to conduct yourself, how to be a man, and lead them to bigger and brighter places. So, I'm not all flash and show. What you see is what you get. And they use the word consistency. It's because that's who I am. I show up every day. I'm going to work my butt off. I'm going to give you the best that I've got, or give them the best that I've got. And I'm going to expect that in return from them. We set a standard at Austin High School, and it's their job to meet the standard, and I'm not going to lower that standard for them or anybody else. And so it's pushing them to reach that standard. And I know if they can reach that standard that's set very high, that they're setting themselves up for success in life.
Coach, I want to say thank you for coming again. Players, thank y'all for coming so much, and thanks for everything you do.
All right, thank you. Anything else?
One last question. You got 4 seniors up here. Guys, you played a lot of football, got a lot of experience, you've done a lot of sweat and tears with coach and with the community and your school. What's it mean? This is it, your last season. What are you looking forward to the most?
I'm just trying to take my guys to the championship, do the unthinkable, do what never been done at Austin before.
Same thing. Just enjoy it, and it means a lot to be here, and I think we can take it all the way.
Me even seeing my senior year, that's just crazy to me. It just doesn't seem real. I haven't really processed it yet. But for the football aspect of my senior year, I just hope we go out there and come together. Show a lot of teamwork, and yeah.
My senior year, this is my last year. I'm gonna go out and give it my all to my teammates and my coaches. I've been working for this all summer, and I'm all 10 games plus the state championship. We gonna do it this year.
Jordan Miller, one closest to me, number 74, Mason Lawrence, senior. In the middle, Dakota Crawford, number 16, senior. And on the far end, Cole Drinkard, number 11, sophomore. These young men have done a great job all summer. Mason plays center for us. Dakota plays defensive end, tight end, and Cole is our starting quarterback. Anybody with any other questions?
I'll start. Cole, let me ask you one as a quarterback. Touching the ball every play, how do you deal, obviously, with the stress of playing that tough position?
It's a game. You out there to have fun, compete. That's the way I look at it.
If you make a mistake, throw a pick, how do you deal with that?
Just next play, next drive.
Hey, Coach, it's your first year. I wanted to ask you, this program has been really close to reaching the postseason the last couple of seasons. For you, as the head man in charge, how have you tried to continue to kind of instill kind of the mentality that we are that close as a program, and more importantly, trying to kind of break through and reach the postseason?
So first off, we start with the idea that, the name on the chest matters. Being Brewer matters, that we are all a family together. We are all together in it, that we can't do it without the other one. So taking away the concept of me ball, where I'm out there for myself, getting them to understand, like, if you're 5 offensive linemen, all 5 guys have a job to do. All 5 guys are required to step. Maybe you're stepping right on an inside zone play, but your combos are going to be different. You may be uncovered, covered, working up to the second level. If you're the quarterback, you've got to identify different things. So he's got to do his job. Dakota playing tight end for us. If he comes out there, he may block, he may run a route. And also just fundamentals, living in our fundamentals, because at some point in a game, something is going to go crazy. At some point, like Cole got asked, what happens when you throw an interception? He said, next play. We fundamentally teach that to be next play. If he has a bad throw in practice, we're next throw. We're moving on from it. We're going to say what we need to fix and then make it happen. And at the end of the day, that's how we look to reach the postseason like any other team. You look at the ones who are doing it year in and year out, is because they are fundamentally sound in what they do. They have a system that they run no matter what, every single game, and that's what we're going to be. We are a system offense, a system defense that is fundamentally blueprinted to allow our young men to play with the most amount of strength, speed, and violence that they can every single play.
Do you appreciate the enthusiasm that the young men have during winter conditioning, off-season, and of course, heading into the fall camp, kind of understanding how much detail-oriented procedures for you and your team potentially help you as you try to make the playoffs this year?
Oh, definitely. We are overjoyed. For example, Dakota, he put up 385 pounds on bench press a while back. A lot of our young men, we've got 2 linemen squatting over 570 pounds. Got 18-plus guys power cleaning 225 or more. So we've had a great summer off season. They've really understood the emphasis of, for example, on Monday we focus on lower body. So we hit every lower body lift plus with a core added to it. So we do a main set, superset, and core lift. And they don't miss a beat. They don't skip reps. They're always encouraging each other. We've emphasized throughout the summer. We didn't have a spring, so we've emphasized in the summer as we've put in getting out in helmets, doing certain fundamental things that we're allowed to do in preparation for 7-on-7s. They picked up the schemes really well. We've had good showings at both a 7-on-7 and O-line, D-line competition at Decatur High School, and we just had a lot of good things at the UNA 7-on-7. Came up a little short, 2 games by 2 points, and 1 game we ran out of time in. But all in all, they have done a great job. Couldn't be overjoyed with them.
Coach, I think 3 teams won 5 games in the region last year. What's your outlook on the region this year from, I guess, the top, but also just the depth of it?
We play in one of the toughest regions, without a doubt, in my opinion, in North Alabama when it comes to 5A. You look at teams like Gunnersville, for example. Gunnersville's going to be one of the ones that you always look to in that region just because of what Reese has built with the previous coach before him and Coach Isom and what he has done to continue that and everything. Nothing but the respect for everybody that we play. But the one thing is we're going to give them the respect, and then we're going to come at them the same way they're going to come at us. We're going to keep pushing and keep fighting. So I think, each game matters in our region, no different than it does in every one, whether it is actually a region game or a non-region, that if you don't put your best foot forward, if you don't take the punches and swing back, that it's not going to fall your way. So to answer that, I think it's anybody's game. You look at it, myself taking on the head coach at Brewer, you've got a new head coach at Boaz and stuff, and we're just going to be excited to see what happens as we move forward each week.
Question here for the players, goals. It could be a team goal, it could be an individual goal. It could be something just how you want to build, unity and for that for the season. So have y'all set any goals for the season?
I would like to make it back to the playoffs this year. I think that's a pretty good team goal to have this year. I feel like we should be able to make it and do good in playoffs.
Like he said, we made it to the playoffs freshman year, and with our entire O&D line being seniors this year, I think we can rally and rely on that strongly and potentially have a run at the state playoffs.
I would love to make the playoffs as well. Individual goal of mine is to have over 2,000 yards passing.
Another question here. You mentioned, your freshman year, someone will be in the playoffs. And it could be a player from them, it could be a player from, even when you was playing Pee-wee. But who has been a player or a coach or a family member that's been somebody that's been instrumental in leading you and helping you when you were younger playing football?
Me and my quarterback, Cole Drinkard, have played together since we were about 7 or 8 years old, and he has always been there leading the team, playing quarterback since we were little, and dominating in the passing game.
I've been playing football since like first grade, and for the most part, most of my friends still play football now. So we've been playing together since we've been little. So all of us have really strong bonds on this team, and I think that will just help us carry this team further this year. Most of us are entering our senior year, junior year.
Do y'all have any type of pregame ritual before you go out on the field on Friday night? Anything that you guys do? Anything?
We do normally have a speaker in the locker room. A lot of guys wear headphones and get in the kind of mood and focus they need to get in. But when it comes down to a ritual or a tradition, we don't have much of a ritual we do before games, but there is music and a lot of yelling and getting hyped for the game.
When you say a speaker, what type of speaker? Somebody from the school or?
A lot of times our past head coach has brought in multiple speakers to preach about the gospel or to get us ready for the game, or we'll play music before the game.
Coach, the players beside you, you always say, when people that, coaches, they run players that they're counting on. So how much are you counting on the guys, sitting to your right,
Without a doubt that I agree with you that you always have players that you're going to look to in crunch situations. I feel like we're blessed to have multiple. It was a really hard decision to decide as a coaching staff which was the 4 that was going to represent us here. It was not an easy decision by any means. So for them to be here, they have not only the trust of myself who's here with them, but the trust of all the coaches, because it was not a deal where like I went in saying, guys, I'm the head coach, these are the guys that are going. No, I looked at every coach and was like, who do you want to go to represent us? Because I feel like just as we asked the players to be a family, so should the coaching staff. So I asked each and every one of them before any decision was ever made. I weighed the thoughts of each assistant coach. We weighed them together to come up with these. Well, we had 4 coming. Cam Ballinger, unfortunately, wasn't able to be with us. He had an engagement that came out of nowhere. But again, we could have brought a handful of different order. We're blessed to have 20 seniors this year. We've got about 16, 18 juniors. Our sophomore class and our freshman class are our lightest, pushing about 10 and 8, but those will always grow as you go throughout the years. Until they're seniors, you'll always have some kids that come out their senior year and play. So we're really blessed this year to have the depth we need and a bunch of young men that are excited for what's coming up. So again, it was one of those deals. It was a very tough decision to decide.
Denver High School. This is Mitchell Owens with me, O-line, D-line. Jace Glenn's quarterback DB. Matthew Titwell, running back, linebacker, and John Savia, tight end and D end.
Those were just a few weeks away.
Yep.
From the light being turned on. Is there a certain group or a certain unit that has surprised you in the off-season and you cannot wait until the first game gets here to see?
Just the overall picture. These guys are, we're trying to teach about accountability and not making excuses. I enjoy I feel like the coaching part of it is made very, very simple because these guys don't make any excuses. They open to learning what we're doing. We're doing some new stuff a little bit on both sides of the ball, and they're pretty open to what we're doing. So very coachable, and I've just been pleased with that for the most part.
Coach, do you believe that this is a group that's kind of been through a lot? Maybe the next step to try and attempt to reach the postseason this year?
Yeah, this bunch is, been a bunch that's sort of sitting in the cuff of trying to create an opportunity for themselves, and they've stayed the course. A lot of people can fall by the wayside when quota status tough is thrown at them and presented to them or facing adversity. And, sometimes you can face adversity without even playing. But, knowing the situation we have in front of us week in and week out, and these guys pretty much just stayed the course, and I'm just proud of them for, staying with the, with the program and continue to work and getting better as we go along.
For the players, what's the chemistry like with you guys in the locker room, on the field, and off the field?
It's very tight-knit, and that comes with, just having a closer group. We lost a lot of guys last year, but now that, we have a smaller group, but it's also a plus. It's a pro for us because we get to, if somebody's messing up, we get to coach them up easier, being able to see people easier. It just makes it more enjoyable, being a closer-knit team like that.
I've got one for the players. I think y'all are all seniors, but it can be a little nerve-wracking getting out there on Friday Night Lights. What advice would you give a teammate that maybe will be seeing his first action on Friday night? A younger teammate.
Just play, because after about the first quarter, it's all butterflies are out, so about like that.
Yeah, after that first hit, all the nerves melt away.
I'll probably just relate it back to myself. When I first started playing, I was a freshman, and I wasn't supposed to be starting the week before that, and 2 guys ended up not playing. And so when I went in the game, I messed up bad, and then that's what I remember most of the time. When I'm nervous for a game, I just kind of relate that back to myself. I boost them up like that, like, hey, man, I didn't do good, but I believe in you, and then we all believe in you, so just go out there and play.
Coach, you guys are part of that Monster 9 team, Region 7. Just as we're now a few weeks out, what are your thoughts overall in the region, the competition this year?
It don't change. It sort of is what it is. I was telling those guys earlier, we dealt the cards we're dealt, and we're going to line up and play. We don't have any respect to people, so we're going to try to go out and compete week in and week out, taking one at a time. But, it's a rugged region, and sometimes you want to be in the arena with that arena. We're not going to feel, these kids and mentality that we set is, we want to go out and compete, each week. And we're not going to, not put in a plan or prepare to win each and every week. We're going to prepare every week and try to be ready to answer the call each and every game.
I got one for the players. Important question. You have a big impact on the coach and some of his decision making. What is the best pregame meal he can feed y'all before a game?
Steak. And baked potatoes.
Believe it or not, I think 4 years ago, we did feed him steak and baked potato one time before. That wasn't my call, but, it happened. First round of the playoff, I think that happened.
Dessert would be nice.
Wow.
I normally shower before a game.
Yeah.
We just get in a circle and pray.
Yeah, I know.
This is going to be a two-part question, one for Coach and one for you guys. This senior group, they're about to do their last year. Coach Williams and the Danimal Hall. What kind of impact has this group made on you? And then guys, what kind of impact has the coaching staff and the Danimal community made on you guys?
Well, for me, again, I go back to these guys, these young men stayed the course through the thick and thin, through the first getting started. When I first got here, I think I moved some of these guys and let them dressed on Friday nights, but they've been with us the entire time. Seeing everything that we presented for them, and we sort of tried to stay consistent within what we were doing, and these guys pretty much stayed consistent. Not only that, these guys try to keep everything abreast to make us successful, and I can see it in them. I see the things they do. I see how they try to sell our program, how they try to sell it to not only the kids in the halls, but even in the community. So that's what you want. You want to be around some kids that's going to sell your brand of who we are, and I can see it in them, in their families. These some good young men that we have here. Again, they've been around me ever since I've been here, for the most part, and they continue to try to sell who we are and our brand and everything. So, they've created opportunity for themselves going forward, and I just, can't thank them enough for the work they put in, because we work the piss out of them, and they keep coming, and, just keep pushing to stay on one accord for the most part.
We've never had a coach like Coach Williams. He believes in us and pushes us pretty hard, more than any other coach has. So,
Yeah, part of what it is like representing the community you come from. So, and they get behind us all through that, all the way we've been through it, since about 8th grade. So that really backs us up and all that.
To build on that, Coach just, he puts us, you go through, all the trials, and like he said, we just stayed through thick and thin. It's going to help us with our future. Not only right now, it's going to help us with our future and jobs and everything, not getting, and just having a successful life, really. Maybe being a coach or something.
First of all, thank y'all for having us. I'm Rich Dutton, head football coach. I have junior Cole Stewart, number 60, junior John Bolin, number 50, and senior John Owen Vincent, number 13.
Coach, go over with us. What's being your first season at Decatur Heritage, coming from such a big school like Grissom now to Decatur Heritage? What's some of the huge pros for that for you?
My wife's a lot happier. So, no, it's closer to home, really it is. And Coach Meek, who was my head football coach in high school, he had a long run at Decatur Heritage, and he was telling me a lot about their traditions and their support, and I was envious of it, and it was time in my career to move a little closer to home.
For the players, what has this transition been like, getting a new coach this offseason?
I'd say it's been a good transition. I'd have to. It's a lot different from what we've had before, and I think it's honestly a good change, because we've had a lot of coaches come in, and they're great coaches, but they're not used to coaching smaller teams, and you gotta coach a little bit different in that situation. And Coach Dutton's doing, honestly, in my opinion, a great job on learning how to coach a smaller team, and getting personal relationships with the players and stuff. So. Anything to say something?
Coach, what did he
Yes, sir. Just to be able to him come from that big school, just to, like you're saying, come down closer to home. Family is everything, and just for him to just be able to come down to us and just build that connection with us as players, as young men growing up, and just means a lot.
Coach, what do you think are the 5A and 7A things that you're bringing with you to this program? What are the things you felt like you need to maybe change about yourself, or if nothing, but as you take over a 2A school?
Well, obviously, opponent scout is something big that at that level, if you're not watching your opponent every inch of a game that you possibly can, then you're way behind. So I think that's going to be something that should be a quick addition to what Decatur Heritage does in scout. And what I'm learning is the individual time you had in 5 and 7A is not as much as the team periods that you'd have in a smaller environment, but I'm able to focus on a player a whole lot more than I did before, and I'm still learning how to make that player offense and defense. So there's several times that I have to really think a whole lot more about how to structure my time for both sides of the ball as opposed to just one or the other. So learning a lot, but I think bringing in the way we scouted opponents and the detail we had to go through each week will probably be beneficial into a football.
I've got one for the players. Guys, is there anyone in your life, a family member or whoever, that encouraged you to play this game?
Yes, sir. My uncle played a lot of football when he was younger. He was a defensive end, and he has lots of fun stories that he would tell me, and it honestly made me want to play the game. Because honestly, before I was mainly, basketball was the only sport I liked. But then, my uncle kind of made me realize I'm built for football a little bit better. So.
Did he play at Decatur? Was Decatur here? Did he play there?
No, sir.
Then I will say myself, my dad, he was on the part of the championship team that they won at Cortland, and he was the starting linebacker. So, he teaches me a lot of football. Then my granddad, when Hazelwood was winning all them championships, he was part of that team. He was a lineman and stuff like that. So I know just a little bit about football.
I've always just loved playing football and watching it.
What does it mean to represent Decatur Heritage and the Decatur Heritage community to you each Friday night putting on that jersey?
Just be a good example. You don't want to go out there and make it, if you have a bad attitude, you're out there, saying things you shouldn't say, having bad sportsmanship, it gives a bad rep for the school, and for the community at our school and what we represent. So it's just try to have best, just lead, lead by example is the best thing I could say.
Yeah, what I will say is we're Decatur Heritage. Yes, we got the Christian name in there, and we're supposed to carry it to a certain standard and just to set it. Yes, we may say a couple bad words every now and then Friday night as games get intense every now and then. Because it's all fun and games, we're both brothers on both sides of the ball, just battling it out and just trying to get a win in and just to represent Decatur Heritage, just integrity, just honor, and just have good sportsmanship. That's what it means.
I would say we're held to a higher standard because we're a Christian school, and people expect us to do better things and act better and play better than a normal school would.
Coach, who was your coach? Who's made the biggest impact on you in coaching?
It would have to be Steve Meek. Coach Meek had a tough time. We were not really successful, but he was, and he had this level of calmness he always had, regardless of a 4th and 1 game on the line or 3rd and 10 game blown out. He always seemed to, the way he controlled us, controlled his temperament. I've tried to resemble that in my career because I saw it as a 16-year-old. Saw him how he held his composure.
Just have fun, don't take it too seriously. When I first started, I was so nervous about messing up and stuff and getting yelled at that first couple of years, I missed a lot of opportunities because of being nervous. If I would have just, played ball, it would have been a lot better.
I would say just give it your all. If you're going to mess up 100%. No reason to not give it your all.
And then I would just say, you may mess up the first time, you may mess up second time, third time, fourth time, but if you just stick with it and just have that want to in you and just that composure, then if you align yourself with good coaches through Pee Wee, high school, even if you want to go to college, stuff like that, they'll guide you the way. You just got to listen. You may not always agree with them or anything like that. But if you just stay true and stay true to yourself, and you'll be okay.
Have you set any goals for your team or individual? And it could even be something that's just in the weight room or a team building, but have you set any goals for the season?
I would say unity. A lot of teams we've had up before, they've always been, it's been like a brotherhood. And now that we got, a little bit smaller of a team this year, a lot of kids that don't know each other as well, also a lot of young kids to try to, be unified, have a good brotherhood, especially for the younger ones, so they can step up into that and, have good unity when they're older.
I would say a goal for me is just being a good role model to the younger kids that are looking up, because we've got a lot of younger kids who are going to have to step up this year. And if you're a good role model, it'll make them want to step up better.
I would just say, just as a brotherhood, just grow our faith in the Lord, and just to come together, like maybe have like a small get together and thing like that, and just as a brotherhood, just get together and just fellowship in one another, and just, yes, it's about football and everything like that, but just grow in your faith and in your word. That's what I would say. That's my goal.
I'm Seth Ward. Like you said, been at Faulkville for 5 years. Farthest to my right, I've got Eli Harris, senior, Logan Fowler, senior, Landon Horton, senior, and Houston Jackson, senior.
I'll start off with one for the players. I've asked several folks this. What advice would you guys give a younger player who might be seeing action for the first time on Friday Night Live? Maybe he's a little nervous about the stage. What advice would y'all give?
I'll start first. What I would give to a younger player is just to go out there, just play. Just do you. Don't worry about the stands. Don't worry about anything else. Your coach put you out there, so just go do you. Just go play.
Your coach obviously trusts you enough to have you out there, so play calmly. Don't play like all jittery and all this. Just play loosely.
Don't take advantage of the time that you have, because it goes by really fast.
Yeah, I would just add on to what they say. If your coach puts you in, he obviously has trust in you, and just play for the guys around you, not just for yourself, because it could be one of their last seasons for the seniors.
Well, they said it. If we put you out there, we trust you. Two, it's just a game. And you heard Scotty Scheffler say earlier in the week before the British Open, don't find your fulfillment in your performance. You're a freshman. Allow yourself some grace. You're gonna make mistakes. Football's a game where 11 people have a job, and rarely do all 11 of them win every single battle every single time. So just know you're gonna struggle, and that's part of the game. And it's one of the most lifelike things there are on a field is you're gonna mess up, you're gonna make mistakes, and that's just learn to play the next. That was our theme last year, is just kind of play the next play, and like the last play is never gonna be talked about again. Whether it was good or bad, don't let that play define who you are, because it's just one play.
I'll start first again. My dad, he just, he pushed me, and then Coach Ward as well. He asked me over and over to keep playing, or to start playing again, and then my dad just edged it on, and then it just happened.
My good friend Ansel was always trying to talk me into playing football from 7th grade all the way to about 9th. Because I never wanted to play, but he taught me into it, and I've enjoyed it since.
My stepdad watched football like all the time, and I fell in love with sport when I was probably about 5 or 6, something like that. And I've been playing ever since I could touch a football, so that's what inspired me.
Definitely my dad is who pushed me to play football, and all my friends around me. I just gave it a shot, and it just became something I loved. He played a little bit.
I've set individual goals for myself and also team goals. Individual goals just tail off what I did last year and do either the same thing or even better. And then for the team is us just keep working together as a family, as a brotherhood, and just do the best we can to our ability.
I don't really have an individual, but I want to do what I can to help our team win this year. And as a team standpoint, I want all of us to grow closer together.
I have one individual goal, and it's to make it all-state, of course. And my team goal is to make it to the third round, as our team has never done that before. And I've been telling myself that our group will be the group to do it.
Coach Ward, I did want to ask about what you just mentioned. And I know you're excited, everyone wants to make the postseason, but your standard and this program standard is to continue to make deep runs in the playoffs. How do you maybe try to instill that in these young men and understanding that, hey, yes, we're making the playoffs consistently, but we also want to make deep runs and eventually become state champions?
Yeah, he mentioned something about making it to the third round, and you don't really want to put that kind of stuff on your kids. Just play every play like it has a life and death of itself, and the scoreboard will take care of itself. That's something a lot of coaches say. There's books titled that, and you don't want to put that weight on the kids, but if they just focus on what's in front of them and just winning that battle, winning that play, winning that quarter, that possession. There's been a lot of games where all we had to do was hang on to the football and get 2 or 3 first downs. Just do your job, and the results will take care of themselves. And there's a lot of things outside of your control when it comes to results. You want to win, you want to make it to the third round, you want to make it to the state championship game, but there's sometimes, you have injuries, you have weather pops up and something crazy might happen, and you don't worry about the results. It's cliche, you worry about the process, but you have a system in place that allows you to mentally refresh every snap and just play every play like it's the most important play on earth, because it's the only one you can do anything about. That's just kind of my message, and it has been for the last 2 years, and I think our kids embrace that. We played in a jamboree last year at Winston County, and we got beat by Solent, but I told our guys, I said, if you will learn to not dwell on the last play and just make the next play, the score will take care of itself. Those things will happen. And, I know there was a lot of people in our community that thought we weren't going to be very good last year. We made the second round. We've only done that 7 times. So it's one of the best 7 teams in football history by result standpoint. But, the growth we had last year was so massive, just from game 1, from week -1 or whatever they call it now to the last week of the year when we played Pisgah. That's what I was most proud of. It wasn't the results. It was the growth. It was the coming together as a group, and that's what I was really proud of. And I think this group can do those things, but you don't want to worry about results because there's so much that you can't really do much about.
Question here for the players. I mentioned earlier, Coach Ward is 5th season, so pretty much since you've been playing junior high and high school ball, Coach Ward has been coach at fall. So with that being said, with that consistency and knowing who you're playing for, how easy has it been for y'all knowing who your coach is going to be?
Oh, it's super easy because, he just pushes us, and we just know what he does for us and everything, so it's pretty easy.
I agree, it's very easy. Coach Ward's always been a great mentor, especially towards all the players, and he's a great coach and a great guy.
It's good because, I don't have to go into a different system, say if a new coach moves in or anything. So I'm sitting with the same system the whole time because I know what I'm going into.
I feel like it's been great to have a coach that's just a great guy and a good mentor that will work with you no matter what you're going through. And it's just always been good to have a good coach.
Yeah, Coach, when we were down a few weeks ago doing our Coach's Community podcast, and the player just said it, mentorship. One thing that I took away from our conversation is it really means a lot to you to have that impact on the player's life, regardless of what it is. They call you up to be their best man, they tell you about what's going on in their life. Tell us a little bit about that and what that character that you try to build into these players.
Yeah, these guys will never know the impact that they've had on me. Some of our players have had things go on in their life that no kid should have to deal with. And just to know that you might have had just a little bit of something to do with that kid becoming a man, it's such a cool experience that not a lot of people understand. And getting to be around these guys gives me a lot of energy, gives me a lot of hope for the future, because you see what we're going to be putting out into society. We've got 4 really, really good guys here, but there's 12 other seniors that we have that are just as deserving to be up here. They're great people too. They work hard. We mentioned on the radio, a lot of our guys get up at 5:30 in the morning and go work, and then show up at school and go to school all day. And I don't know, it's just really, really cool to see them grow as men, and just to have a little part in that is so special.
A brand new season of Fox 54's First Down Friday Night begins on Friday, August the 22nd on Fox 54 and the Fox 54 Plus app.
Well, you know me, Bo. What am I going to talk about? Defense. But I'm excited about that bunch. There's a bunch of those guys who have been playing together for a long time, and they're really fast and really physical. And if we stay healthy, I think we can and keep everybody on the same path. They could be really good. But I'm also really excited about our offense. I think we got 2 really good running backs sitting over there, and we got some more that are some young guys, and our skills not very experienced. I think going to be very explosive. And in our offensive line, if they stay healthy, we're old, and the ones that aren't old are huge and played some last year and have had a great offseason. So, it's going to be a typical Hartselle team. Run the football, play great defense, and win close games.
I got one question from the players really quick. Game 1 each year against Austin Blackfoot. Last year came down to the final play. Sure, that's such a bad taste in you guys' mouth. What do you guys think about this year? Or is that game something you have to say?
I would say from last year to now, it's been on my mind ever since. Just gotta dominate and just actually execute this year. Don't give up halfway, or just fully execute the plan and just finish it all the way through. So I'm ready for Austin for sure.
Austin is always going to be that team that is everybody's ready for it. Everybody gets amped up for it, because it's such a great competition, and it's always a good game. It's just always a dogfight, for real.
I'll say the same thing. They're always pretty good. It was tough when we had a pick 6, but we got called back. So it's a tough feeling that we lose in double overtime. So we definitely got circled.
Yeah, it's super exciting that it's the first game of the season. Kind of sets our standard for practice, and just something to really look forward to. Super excited about this year.
Let's talk about your area. Not only is it arguably the best area in probably the state of Alabama, but you play in 6A, which is arguably the toughest classification in the state of Alabama. So what is it like week in and week out playing such good teams?
I call it the SEC West back when there was such a thing. But, we got such great teams, and I've talked with Bo about this on several different interviews and everything like that. But, you got a bunch of teams in North Alabama that are, all of it except for one is a single city system. They all got money. They all care about education, and they all care about football. And when you have something like that means you're going to have great coaches, you're going to have a great buy-in from the community, and you're going to have people that want to go to school there. And, we don't bring a ton of kids in, but we bring them in when they're in kindergarten and first grade and second grade, because they want to be in the school system and be a part of our school. So, anyway, it's a great region. It's week in and week out. It's a battle. I want to say our last 4 games in our region are Coleman, Athens, Jasper, Muscle Shoals. And you still got Decatur as well in Columbia. And I think Decatur is going to be a surprise team as improved as they're going to be.
I would just like everybody to know that we came out and we represented Hartselle in a good way, and that we just played our best.
I want to be known as a team that always found a way to win no matter what, because with what we got, it's what we have to do sometimes.
I want to be remembered as, for us to be remembered as like a brotherhood. Like we stick together no matter what. No matter what. Like the defense mess up, we're not gonna go over there chew them out or anything. It's like we're gonna bring it back up. It's like no matter what goes through, like in any situation, you still gotta be there for each other.
I'll say the same thing. Like both sides of the ball has each other's backs, and that I just feel like I'd like to be remembered as a guy that gave it his best every game and that had each other's back.
Hey, Coach, we know the whole cliche during the offseason about you bigger, faster, stronger. What are some of the other things that you're proud of your student athletes as far as what they've been able to improve on pre-salt?
I think our grades, our GPA was about as good as it's ever been in the second semester. Those guys really locked in. Maybe a handful at most that I had to ever even go talk to teachers or talk to them, or and so that would be one thing. I think also the culture in the locker room is really good right now. The guys all get along, especially our older guys that matter, and so those are two things. And then that I've been probably the most proud of. We did get bigger, faster, and stronger, but those intangible things are really important to me.
Coach, you mentioned your schedule, and I don't know who you made angry with the schedule makers, but October is going to be brutal because you do have those 4 area games back-to-back weeks, and obviously at Athens, at Jasper, at Buffalo, and then hosting Buffalo shows for the third one. That at Jasper game is a trap game. How are you going to prepare your players in between the big rivalries of Athens and Buffalo shows? What scares you about that Jasper game?
The only thing that scares me is that some of our kids don't know as much about Jasper as they do the other places, but it's not going to be a trap game because I'm telling you right now, Jasper's going to be one of the best teams. They got their quarterback back, they got the running back back. I think most offensive line's back, and they were good last year. So, and it's at Jasper, so it's not going to be a trap game. That's probably the week where I go nuts the most all week on Sunday meeting in the whole 9 yards. It will not be a trap game. If it is, they ain't listening to me.
I've really enjoyed getting to watch y'all play, but 1 through 9, pretty much always that team can sweep the yard at any point.
I would say baseball is the sport that I love and I enjoy practicing, but nothing beats Friday night football. It's an incredible atmosphere. It comes close to state championship, the way everybody's there and pulling for you. That's basically how every Friday at Hartsville is.
I grew up in the southwest side of Morgan County. Everybody knows Hartsville. Everybody in the state of Alabama knows Hartsville when it comes to any sport. Tell us, what's it like? What the standard means to you wearing a Hartsville hat?
To me, so I moved out here about like 6 years ago, like my 6th grade year. So I started playing football my 7th grade year, and I realized when I started playing football out here in Hartsville is you got to bring it every time. It's like you can't be no slacker. You can't lag no bit at all. It's like if you're gonna be out during that field, especially as a starter, you got to give your all. So to me, having Hartsville on my back, having this number on, it's a great opportunity, and to actually prove myself and show what my God-given talent on the field is. So it's definitely an honor to be a Hartsville Tiger to this day.
Yeah, I would say not only sports-wise do you have to come in and be ready academically. You got to give it your best for the grades you want to get because it is hard at Hartsville, and there's some hard classes there. But I think sports-wise that the coaches push you to the best of your ability, and you just got to be able to listen and be coachable.
Yeah, I moved here in 8th grade, and Hartsville's the only sports team that I played for. And it's just incredible how such a good program, like the inside of it, is so humble. We're obviously like we have an excellent football team consistently, and it's just everybody pushes you to be your best here.
Coach, can you talk about just how special Decatur Stadium is on Friday night?
Sure. I coached in Birmingham for like almost, I think, 15, 16 years before I came here in 2017. So the first home game, I actually drove my car to because I was going to leave and drive back to Birmingham. I was still commuting at that point in time. Not now, obviously, but I got there like, I don't know, it was like 5:30, and started looking around. I looked at Coach Gotts and said, "Hey, what are these people doing here?" Because, and we had some big crowds at the schools I coached at in Birmingham, some real big crowds, but they weren't there at 5:30. They were rolling in at 6:45, and so, it was just different, and I think that the atmosphere is unbelievable. Last year, my first game ever, we're playing Austin, and of course, huge crowd, rivalry, the whole 9 yards, first game of the season, and, I kind of look back a little bit, and by the end of the first, when the game started, completely packed. By the end of the first quarter, I go over to the tent, I look around, for the track all the way back, all around both sides, it's completely packed. So it's an unbelievable atmosphere. The people care about it, whether we're playing, the number one team in 6A or we're playing the worst team in the region. If it's a home game and it's at Hartsville High School and it's J.P. Kane Stadium, the town's going to show up.
Thank you guys for having us again. Loved this event last year. Glad to be here again this year. Like Josh said, I'm Seth Parker. I'm going to my second year as head coach at Priceville High School. Today I brought all seniors with me. Last year we kind of had a mixed bag, but this year brought all seniors. Got offensive and defensive lineman Cole Oliver right here to my left, to my right. Senior running back, plays a little linebacker as well, Bronson Carroll. Senior quarterback, plays some safety as well, Sheldon Graham. And then senior receiver Hudson Eubanks. All these guys are great representations for our team, for our school and community as a whole. But also guys that have worked really, really hard this offseason and been leaders for us on and off the field. So, again, it was a pretty easy decision about who to bring, guys that would represent us well, and I think they certainly will. I look forward to hearing their answers to some of these questions. As far as us going into the 2025 season, like I said, really excited about it. I feel like everybody says they have a great off season. I mean, that's kind of like you have to say that as a coach, but we certainly have. I mean, I think we've knocked it out of the park. Our work ethic from November through now has been really the best I've been a part of in my career. And so, I was telling these guys on the way over here, we're excited about the 2025 season because of the work we've put in. And, it makes you confident when you worked hard, you've checked the box of what you're supposed to do to prepare for a football season. And I think we certainly have. And so, that's really kind of all I'll say about it. I don't want to sit up here and make predictions or things like that, but we feel good about where we're at. We've worked really hard, and I'm really excited to see our hard work pay off this season.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask, since you've kind of been here, this is your second full offseason, how excited are you just the familiarity with your guys and the standard of what you are expecting to continue to kind of keep Priceville at the standard they've set over the last decade or so?
Yes, sir. In anything, I mean, I think you see it at every level, both college and pro. Year one of any new regime is difficult. There's growing pains, and obviously you got to get used to the kids around you. The kids got to get used to you, and not just the schemes or the plays that you run. I mean, it's more so your personality and what you expect on a day-to-day basis. And I think that probably more than anything, that being a great question, I think that more than anything is kind of what's allowed us to have a great offseason. I think Priceville is kind of known now for kind of being hard-nosed, tough kids that play really hard. I think that was true before I got here. I think it's still certainly true and only improving. But in terms of their work ethic and what they expect from me every day, what I expect from them every day, I think there's a lot of familiarity there. But then also, kind of like I went away from a second ago, with our plays, offensively, defensively, the schemes, things stay the same, the verbiage stays the same, and so there's a lot of familiarity there. And again, I think our competition periods we've had this summer have certainly shown how much we've grown in that.
I got one for the players. If you guys could come up with a hashtag that represents who you are, this team, what would it be?
Hashtag prepared.
Y'all don't be afraid to answer now. Come on. What y'all think?
Hashtag ready.
Prepared, ready? Yeah, that's good.
I got one for the players, and I know y'all are all experienced, but what advice would you give a younger player in the system who might be seeing his first action on Friday night? What advice might you give?
I'd definitely say don't let the older guys just take all the reps. Try to get as many as you can to get you ready for Friday, because that's how you're going to show out to the coaches. It's how you're going to get prepared for Friday nights. So don't stay in the back and do nothing and mess around. Just get in there, get in the action.
Getting mental reps is an important thing. So whenever you are staying on the sideline, paying attention to the folks that are ahead of you. So that's important too.
Just buy in and do everything right.
You said something about older players. Any older players that have been before y'all that have set kind of a precedent, or also somebody that you looked up to when you were playing as a younger player?
Somebody that we've been close with, Brody Collins. Every day he always brought the intensity. He was always going 100%. And if you did mess up, he was in your face yelling at you, even though you didn't like it, and you couldn't really do nothing about it. So probably Brody Collins.
For me, it'd be Ty Borden, because that man played through plenty of injuries last year, and he was a key part of our team.
Our freshman year, the senior class, just really taught us how to lead the right way. It's more of a player-led team than a coach-led team.
Mine would have to be my brother. He kind of inspired me to do my best. He was always just doing whatever he could for the team.
This question's for both head coach Parker and the players. What's the biggest thing you learned from not being the seniors on the team from last year to this year? Coach, what have you learned from being your first team with Priceville last year to this year?
Yeah, I mean, a lot. I think you learn a lot. I mean, it's kind of one of those deals, and I talk about, fatherhood being my kids to my players all the time. And I think that's a great way to kind of describe what it is to be a head coach for the first time. It's like being a parent for the first time. I mean, you're never ready for it until it happens, and then you're just kind of flying by the seat of your pants. For the first year or 2 years, I don't know, however old your child is when you feel like you finally get a grasp of things. But, I think that was a lot of it. Every day was brand new. Every day was brand new, and the role that you have to play as a head coach versus what you were as an assistant, whether you were a coordinator or an assistant. I mean, it's just a totally different role. But then not only that, being in a new place, I mean, I always tell the community of Priceville, like, I'm not from Priceville, but I'm from North Alabama and spent a lot of time driving through or being around in Decatur and in the Priceville area. And so I think for me, the biggest thing is just being familiar with the community and our kids. I mean, the kids, everywhere you go, kids are the same, but they're also different. And it's kind of learning what speaks to a Priceville kid a little bit more than what may have spoken to, kids I've coached in Madison at Bob Jones or over in Athens, my time spent there. And so I think that's the biggest thing. It's just familiarity and getting comfortable in a new place. But, there's no better place than Priceville. And man, I love these dudes. I love these dudes so much. I tell them every day how much I love them, love being around them and pouring into them. And so it's, they make it easy, that transition of it. And so, I think learned a lot in year one and hopefully fix those mistakes for year two.
I'd say I've definitely learned how to lead by example more, because growing up, being a freshman and up, you see older kids, they'll just scream at you in your face, and you just kind of look at them and laugh because you're not taking them serious if they're just yelling. But I've learned that if a kid is struggling and you break it down for him, show him how to do it, he watches you do a rep, he automatically learns faster, and he also has more respect for you because you didn't just get in his face yelling, you actually showed him how to do it and how to do it correct.
To kind of piggyback off of Bronson, that senior leadership is something that I've realized is very important because the younger kids look up to you at everything you do, no matter what. You've got to lead by example and lead vocally.
Coach, you mentioned few of the different places you've been. You know, obviously coached in Madison, you coached in Athens. What do you think is, I guess, maybe Briceville, Morgan County different or special, however you look at it, than those other places you've been? Because I mean, only 35 minutes difference,
Right.
on the map. But what makes those Briceville different?
Right. Well, for me, it's pretty convenient. I kind of live like centrally located between all three of those, and so it's like 15 minutes every direction. So it's been nice for me and my wallet and gas. But the thing I love about Priceville is it's a one-school town. Now, obviously, I grew up in Madison when there was no James Clemens, and so there was, it was a one-school town of Bob Jones, and so there's a huge community buy-in. Obviously, Athens is the same way. But the thing I love about Priceville is you still have that small-town feel with a lot of growth coming. You're right there on the outskirts of Decatur, but it still feels like it's its own. It is its own place. It's a very close-knit community, and the entire town shows up on Friday nights. I mean, I'm a high school football traditionalist. I love that. I've dreamed of. I'm living my dream being a head football coach, and I've dreamed of being in a place like that. So I think that's what makes Priceville special. I don't think people realize how special Priceville is and what it's going to be. And I'm excited to be here in the midst of it. But man, it's unique in its own ways. And, one thing I think you could say about any school is every school has its challenges, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, academics, anything like that. Every school has its challenges. But every school also has its major advantages. And I think we've got some really strong advantages at Priceville. One of those is kind of the school and community that we are growing into. And so, like I said, I'm thrilled and honored and blessed to be kind of in charge of the program as kind of we're moving towards that.
Guys, for having us. It's an awesome event. Just a platform you give to recognize these guys and all of our student athletes across North Alabama. My name's Caleb Graham. I serve as the offensive coordinator at West Morgan, going into my 4th year. And so I coach quarterbacks. And these guys that we brought with me are part of our leadership team. Beside me, Maddox Pendergraph, Makari Johnson, Cole Thorne, Jacob Johnston. Those guys were voted on by their teammates to be a part of our leadership team, and they're kind of the heart and soul of our group. And our group kind of goes as these guys go. And as I was telling a guy earlier, they're tremendous leaders of our football team. They don't ask anybody to do something that they wouldn't do themselves. They have a servanthood mentality, and it's just been a blessing to come in. My first year was their freshman year, and to see their growth is, not only players, but as people. It's been pretty special to be a part of and get to witness. So.
As the offensive coordinator these last few years, what has made you guys so explosive, so fun to watch in recent years?
Yeah, first of all, really good players. We've been blessed to have some good players over the years. Starting with guys like Jalen Fletcher, who's playing at UNA, Braxton Peters, quarterback, Melvin Carrillo, offensive lineman, and a ton of other names, Tyshawn Tucker. Those guys are really good players, but they're selfless people that kind of bought into our program and the way we do things. And, man, they're super coachable, which makes our job easier each and every day. And so their preparation and just the hunger to be great each and every day is just something that's really special at West Morgan, and it's been a blessing to be able to coach a number of really good players over the past 3 years.
I've got one for the players. I know you guys are so busy with football and maybe other sports, but do y'all have any hobbies that you might share outside of sports?
I really like fishing and hunting. That's what I was raised doing.
Yeah, I'd say the same. I like to hunt and fish.
I don't really do anything. I just, football is my life. That's all I do, really.
I just like to work out, which is kind of associated with sports, but I also like to work a lot and hang out with friends and do stuff at the church. So.
Coach, we were over a few weeks ago talking to Coach Phillips on our coaches community
Yeah, for sure. I think it's something our guys live by each and every day. And it's especially important for this team, who is a brand new team. Each team's different. And so the focus has kind of been, how do we sustain success that we've had in the past? And the way we do that is, and that's what we say, is play the next play. It's not to focus on things that's happened in the past, the good or the bad, or things and goals that we want to achieve in the future. It's about being present and being where your feet are and focusing on the daily task at hand and doing everything with a great attitude and great effort. And these guys, man, they're an example of that and that for our whole team. And so I would say that's kind of where the mantra comes from and how our team lives by it.
For the players, on a Friday afternoon, I know you guys have the Walk of Champions and all that before a game, which is pretty special. I've seen it. What's it like? What's going through your head as you're walking through the Walk of Champions, knowing that the lights are about to turn on and it's Friday night and you're putting that Westmoreland helmet on? Walk us through. What does that feel like?
It's awesome. Like, we love Trinity, and like against Priceville, it was pouring down rain. And in the Walk of Champions, you just had the whole town out there, even when it's pouring rain and they're getting soaked. It just shows like how they support us.
Like Cole was saying, like just seeing like such a community that'd be willing to, do anything to support our team outside of Friday nights and show up for us, and it's just really good to be able to give back by giving them a game to watch. So.
I really think the feeling of having all your brothers standing next to you is really powerful, and that's one of the biggest experiences of it.
It's really like bone chilling, like seeing all the parents just show up, even if like they don't have a kid on the roster. Like they'll show up, like support us, like even outside of Friday nights, like during the week they just support us, like giving us stuff like waters and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'll speak a little more to that too. I know you said players, but the town of Trinity, man, is a special place. And not being from there, but coming to work there and getting to see not only Friday nights, as McCarr is saying, but every morning after every practice throughout the spring, you have parents volunteering their time, giving waters, giving fruit, kind of feeding our guys. And man, it's been awesome to see that town kind of just show up over the past, my past 3 years when I've been a part of West Morgan. And so it's one of the best things about Friday night is knowing that the town's going to shut down and everybody's going to be there.
Macari, last year in our highlights, I kept calling you Macari the Ferrari. What do you think about that nickname? How would you describe the way you play the game of football?
I like it. I like that nickname a lot. I think it fits me. But the way I play, selfless. I like getting my teammates involved. Like I do run a lot, and you've seen that last year. But I think my teammates were a big part of that. Like especially the offensive linemen, they're a big part of my success.
What do you think the offense is going to look like this year?
I think we're gonna look great.
Coach, I don't think you can talk about a West Morgan game day without mentioning just the absurd amount of energy that's happening. But I mean, start with the fireworks when they're coming out, but then also just you guys as a coaching staff. I mean, it's incredible, just jumping up and down, yelling, like cheering the kids on, and really celebrating the good. How do you guys as a coaching staff, I guess, what do you guys tap into to try and bring that for the kids?
Man, yeah, that's a great question. First of all, it's from our leader, Coach Drew Phillips, our head coach. He sets the tone with the energy and each and every day, and these guys to attest to that. He's going to be out in the hall, and he's going to fist bump, and he's going to speak life over you, and he's like that all the time. It doesn't matter if we're in the weight room, if we're in practice. He's a high energy guy, and I feel like that translates, to the coaching staff and what Friday night is. Man, it's a super special place. We kind of talked on Walk of Champions, but just starting there, and then as it leading into the game, when you got guys running through the helmets, smoke everywhere, fireworks shooting off. And, we talk about we work so hard. When we do something good, we're going to celebrate each other, and we're going to celebrate, our teammates. And so that's really the focus, is just celebrating each other when we do something good. And when something negative happens, is play the next play and remain positive and knowing it's all about our response in that moment.
Question for the players, and you guys, there's a lot of teams in the state of Alabama that would love to just go 10-0 one time in their history. You guys are coming off 2 undefeated a new team. What are some of the things that you want the community of West Orange to remember you guys after this season?
I got this. I think our work ethic is a big part of that success. Like putting in, like even outside of football practice, we have players going to the field, like working on themselves and working on stuff they have to do.
I feel like we're hungry. We're not just settling for like 10-0 the past 2 years. We're not happy with that. We want to do it again and go further.
I just want to be able to leave the impact on like the future players, like all the seniors before us did for us. You know, we wouldn't work as hard as we do if we didn't have those kind of leaders in our life, like during county fair and things like that, like them keeping us up and allowing us to do that to these freshmen. You know, we wouldn't be able to do that and be this successful without those moments.
I mean, what Makari and Cole were talking about the mentality of it and just leaving behind what you were thinking.
A brand new season of Fox 54's First Down Friday Night begins on Friday, August the 22nd on Fox 54 and the Fox 54 Plus app.